us. I'm 104 years old, and there's something strange about the way people talk about a will. Most people believe a will is simply a document about death, a place where you divide money, houses, jewelry, and the possessions you collected over a lifetime. Lawyers sit in quiet offices, papers are signed, envelopes are sealed, and everyone assumes that is the final chapter of a person's story. But after living for more than a century, I can tell you something very few people realize until it is far too late. A will is not really about what you leave behind. The most important things in life are never written on those pages. What truly matters are the words people wished. Over the years, I have attended more funerals than I can remember. I have watched families gather around polished tables. And yet, when it is finished, there is always a strange silence in the room. Because what they secretly hoped to hear were words that never made it into that document. Words of love, forgiveness, pride, or understanding. Those are the things people wait their whole lives to hear, and sadly, many never do. That is why today I want to tell you something important. There are certain things that should never be left inside a will. If you are planning to say them only after you are gone, then you are already too late. The first of those things is an apology. Do not wait until you are dead to say, "I'm sorry." Pride has ruined more families than poverty ever could. I once knew a man who spent 30 years refusing to speak to his own brother because of a stupid argument. When he finally died, his daughter found a letter hidden in his desk. It was an apology written decades too late. But because it had come after 30 years of silence that could never be undone. If there is someone in your life right now
that you hurt or walked away from, do not wait for the perfect moment. That moment does not exist.
Pick up the phone, send the message, walk to their door, because apologies only matter when the other person can still hear them. Another thing people should never leave inside a will is proof that they loved one child more than another. You may think children do not notice these things, but they notice everything. They remember who you praised the most, who you defended, who you listened to longer, and who you ignored. When parents divide their belongings in a way that sends a message of favoritism, it does more than distribute property, Haru. It plants wounds that can last a lifetime. Families rarely break apart because of money. They break apart because of what that money reveals. If you are a parent, your greatest responsibility is not to make your children rich. Your responsibility is to make sure each one of them feels loved while you are still alive. Another mistake people make is trying to control their families even after they are gone.
Some people leave instructions like conditions in their will. Someone can inherit money only if they marry the right person.
Live in a certain place or follow certain rules. But love should never feel like a cage. If you truly care about the people in your life, you must trust them to make their own decisions, even if those decisions include mistakes. Life is not meant to be controlled from beyond the grave. Your story ends when you leave this world, but the lives of the people you love continue long after you are gone. Many people also try to use their will as a final place to explain old family arguments, to tell their version of who was right and who was wrong. But memory is a strange thing. Two people can experience the exact same moment and remember it completely differently. Over the decades, our minds reshape events until they barely resemble the truth. If you want to resolve misunderstandings, do it while you can still sit across from the other person and talk. A document read after your death will never heal a conversation that should have happened while you were alive. Another dangerous thing people leave behind is guilt. Some parents remind their children again and again about everything they sacrificed. They say things like, "I worked my whole life for you," or "I gave up everything for this family." But love should never come with a receipt attached to it. A real sacrifice is something you give freely without expecting repayment. The moment relationships become a scoreboard, they start to lose their warmth and meaning. If you help someone you love, do it because you want to advise, not because you expect recognition after you are gone. Secrets are another terrible thing to hide inside a will. When a secret finally comes out after a person dies, there is no one left to explain it. Families have been torn apart by hidden truths revealed too late. Unknown children, debts, or parts of someone's life that were never shared. The truth may be difficult to speak, but it is always easier to understand when the person telling it is still there to answer questions. And perhaps one of the saddest things people leave out of their wills is the story of their life. Most wills are full of information about possessions, but almost nothing about meaning. They list property, bank accounts, and assets, but rarely do they talk about what the person learned during their lifetime. Your children and grandchildren will not remember the exact value of the things you owned. What they will remember is your voice, your wisdom, the lessons you passed on, and the love you showed them when they needed it most. But the most important thing of all, T.S., the one thing that should never be saved for a will, T.S., is the phrase, "I love you." Those three words lose their power when they are written on paper after you are gone. Ink cannot hug someone. A letter cannot replace the sound of your voice. The people in your life need to hear those words while you are still here to say them. After more than 100 years of living, I have realized that the true inheritance we leave behind is not money or property. It is the memories we create with the people we care about. It is the kindness we show, the forgiveness we offer, and the love we express openly. The things people remember about you will not be the things you owned, but the moments you shared with them. So do not wait until your final document is writ. Do not wait for the lawyer, the envelope, or the quiet room where people gather after you are gone. If there is something important you need to say to someone, say it today. Tell the people in your life that you appreciate them. Apologize for the mistakes you made. Forgive the people who hurt you. And most importantly, remind the people you love how much they truly mean to you. Because one day there will come a moment, no will in the world will ever be able to say them for you.